Hey, WaveTalkers, it's Chris, Whiskey 6 Alpha Hotel, and today we're talking about portable Winlink operations. We're heading out to Zuma Beach here in Southern California, and we're going to be setting up some antennas, some radios, and trying to send some Winlink traffic using a lot of the techniques that we've talked about thus far in our series. Before we get started with that, it's time to send in your weekly Winlink check-in, and for that, we're going to head back to the studio and walk through that process together. Then we'll meet you back out here on the beach.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we are going to be talking about portable Winlink operation. I'm Chris, Whiskey 6 Alpha Hotel, and I will be being joined today by my esteemed colleague, Dan, NR6V. Both of the Davids are both out on assignment this week, so it's just the two of us who are going to be in here, and so we've got a little bit of a different show set up for you than we normally do, but we are always going to start off with our regular Winlink check-in. So let me just switch over to that. This is what we'd like you to do is send in a Winlink check-in to us if you have access to Winlink, and send it to all four of our call signs: KK60A, W0DHG, NR6V, W6AH, and send it to our tactical call, WaveTalkers. And we'll step through that process here in just a second. And in the comments section, if you could answer today's question, which is, have you ever sent Winlink traffic while operating portable? So let's switch over to the PC here, and we'll step through the process of sending in that Winlink check-in. It's pretty straightforward. Just go up here to the toolbar, click on the new message button. You're going to come up here into the select templates option and click the little plus sign next to standard templates. You're going to come down here to, let's go into the general forms today. We'll click on general forms, and it's right down there near the bottom, Winlink check-in. Just go ahead and give that a double click. If the demo gods are with you, hopefully they will remain with us throughout the entire time today. But if the demo gods are with you, you should get your browser of choice should open up for you with the standard Winlink check-in form. You can go ahead and say this is an exercise. Let us know how you are connecting to us. This is where you'd plug in all of our call signs. Maybe Dan can enter those in for everyone in the chat so that you've got it. But it's all four of our call signs. Fill out the rest of the information here. Be sure to make sure that your latitude and longitude information is filled in. And then down here in the comments section, this is where we'd like you to let us know if you have sent any Winlink traffic at all when you've been operating portable. That is anytime outside of your home. So we're going to throw in the category of mobile operating as well. Just go ahead and put that in there. And there, Dan's got the list of call signs there in the chat here inside of Zoom. Once you get that filled in, you can go ahead and hit the submit button. It will pretty much close your browser window. It'll fill in the information that's right here inside of the message. Just post that to the outbox like you normally would, and then go ahead and send that message. I'm going to open the session here via Telnet and just go ahead and do a quick check and see if we've got any coming in. And it looks like we do have a few messages coming in at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and download those and go ahead and take your time sending those in, and we will put up the map at the end of the session to see where everyone is at. So with that, let's go back out and we will head back to the beach. So we've arrived here on the beach, and it looks like my colleague, W0DHG, is already here. Hey, how's it going, David?
It's going. How's it going, Chris?
Pretty good. All right, we're going to play some portable operation and set up and do some Winlink traffic. And we've got a few antennas and a couple of surprises for you. So we are here at Zuma Beach, and we're going to get started and get some gear set up. Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris, Whiskey 6 Alpha Hotel. We're here on the beach at Zuma in Southern California. We're going to send some Winlink traffic today. We've got a few antennas with us, and we've got some extra gear here as well. But primarily, my entire station is here in my backpack. So we've got our power system, we have our radio,
We have our antenna system and our computer. So everything is all in one pack, so we can go out and send traffic. Now, the challenge this week is we're going to go out and send us a Winlink CheckIn sometime during the week and use whatever means that you need to, but it should come via RF. And you should not send that message from your shack. So you want to go out somewhere. This could be in your backyard, in your front yard. You can go to a local park, go to a local beach, wherever you want to go to set up. The challenge is go out and set up your radio system and send some Winlink traffic. So that's going to require a couple of things. First of all, make sure that you download all of the propagation tables before you go out. Make sure you know all the information that you need inside of your computer. And that, what we'll do is we'll head back to the studio and have a quick demo to see how that is done.
All right, so we're out on the beach this week and we're doing some Winlink traffic. However, you want to make sure before you head out to operate that you update the propagation tables and you update the server lists for whichever mode you're planning on operating. And you do that from inside of Winlink. Now, you do need to have your radio connected onto your computer that you're going to be taking out into the field with you, and make sure that it's all connected, everything's talking. And we'll step through the process of the other of the two methods of being able to update those tables just as a quick review. I will say also that the beach was wicked windy, and so I do apologize for the audio. Hopefully folks are able to still hear and understand. I'll be posting some cleaner versions of those up onto YouTube and onto the WaveTalkers site after the fact, with as best I've gotten a chance to clean up the audio. But we did go out there yesterday and film all of that stuff, so it's not been a lot of time for any editing or work on that. So let's go here and let's look at the ways to update your tables. First of all, we'll do the update for a packet, or I'm sorry, a VARA FM via Winlink. So just go ahead and select in your open session, VARA FM. You want to make sure that if you have it set so that you need to, you're required to open VARA manually, it's already open. I have mine open down in the dock already. Or if you've got it set so that it will open it automatically, that will be fine as well. But you need to open up the session. And then you come up here to the channel selection option. And this is pretty much the same way you're going to do this, regardless of which of the different modes that you're going to use. There's usually, once you open the session, there's a channel selection option. We'll go ahead and click on that. And it should open this window, and this will show you all of the different gateways that are out there that the last time you updated. And there's an option here for update table via internet. Now you can do an update table via radio. That does take a little extra time, and you have to have a working gateway already that you can reach in order to get that to work. But we're going to go ahead and just do update table via internet. I'll go ahead and click on that, and it goes ahead and repopulates that page for me with all the information as to where those are. So that's looking pretty good there. Let's just close this. I'm going to also go into VARA HF, so you can see that it's the same thing. So I'll click on VARA. I'm going to go to VARA HF. I'm going to hit open session. Yes, it's found the copy of VARA already running. I'm going to, once again, we're looking for the thing that says channel selection. You click on channel selection, and it's going to open up your propagation tables, and you can click update via internet. And it should go ahead and download that updated database with all of the stations, and it checks for what the current propagation settings are and so forth. And it goes ahead and fills those in. Now, where this becomes really helpful and where you're going to use this out in the field is once you get out there, if you're not at your normal location where you're able to reach the specific stations that you're used to reaching, then you want to make sure that you've got the information for how to reach other stations for the location that you're going to be. Ideally, you would do this at the location as well, so that you get the most specific. You would want to make sure you've got your GPS on to be able to do that. So you have all the right tables of information that you need to be able to operate. Let's see. I think that gets us started with that, let's head back out to the beach. We will take questions at the end and do the normal after party. So definitely hang around. All right, so let's go ahead and unpack the pack and we'll see what kind of gear that we have with us out here in the field. So first of all, we'll start with the outside. And I've got just a really small tripod that's set up, and this I'll use as a support for one of my antennas. You want to make sure that you've got a support to hold up your antenna, whatever you're going to be using. In this case, I have a F-Loop 3.0, and that requires a tripod mount. So I have a tripod with me. This is by Peak Design. It's their travel tripod. It's carbon fiber. It's super light. It's really stable, very easy to set up and operate. So set that aside. Next, on the outside, I've got a couple of lengths of coax, just a couple of different runs of this in order to radio up to some information. Let's go into the main pocket here. This is the matching unit for the F-Loop 3.0. And back in the back portion of it, I have two loops back here. And these two loops, these are shorted loops of LMR 400 coax. And you put one loop on, you can operate on some of the higher HF bands. If you connect the two loops together, there's a coupler here. You can connect the two loops together and you get down to 8 meters. So depending on the needs of the band that you're going to operate with, you can connect one or two of these loops and just connect them onto the F-Loop base. We'll look at that in a little while as well. It's also real important to look right on the coax. It tells you that this is shorted coax. You don't want to put this in line because the center conductor and the braid are both shorted together in these two pieces of coax, and they come with the F-Loop 3.0. That aside, I've also got, this is the center pole for the F-Loop, and this is used to hold the loop up, and the active loop, and that will go onto the top and hold the connect up. So this is an entire antenna system right here using one of the lengths of coax to connect that up. So that's one antenna. If I needed to use just that, I would be ready to operate with that. I have a few others here. This one here is also by Chameleon. This is the LEFS antenna. It's good for 6 to 40 meters. It's a really small wire antenna. There's a little short piece of coax, and actually this one goes with the F-Loop, but you can use it with the other ones. It's got some toroids or some ferrite beads in line to act as a choke, so that works really well. And then the F-Loop, or the LEFS antenna, there's a length of line here that you can use, like if you're out in a location where you got trees or something, you want to pull it up, you can use that to be able to hoist the antenna. The wire antenna is right here, and it's got the integrated matching unit. There's a little short line that's attached so you can hang it. We may be using this antenna here at the beach, but it's going to require a very special type of support system in order to use that. So we're going to put that aside for right now. Here, close this back up. These pouches are really nice because it keeps all your gear kind of organized and together. Also in here, when you're operating your radio, you definitely need power. So for power, I've got the Power Film Solar 60-watt panels. We're going to be deploying these to make sure we have enough power to run our radio, to run the computer, and all of the other equipment that we've got with us. So we'll have this set up here in just a few minutes. I, of course, have my transceiver here. I've got the ICOM 705. Now, I've got the POV case, but the full cage on it, and the Sidekicks cover on it, which is a real nice protection for the radio. You can also use the two handles, set it up, and it creates a really nice operating position for you. So we're going to be working with the ICOM 705 today as our transceiver. In case you need it, you might want to have an antenna analyzer. I do have the Rig Expert, the AA230, and this comes with an end connector on it. What I do is I keep enough connectors get all the way out to the BNC, which is what many of my radios use, so I can attach it to the different lengths of coax that I have. But it also gives me extra little connectors here in case I need to make an adjustment. So an antenna analyzer is super helpful to have. Also in here, it's a good thing to ground your radio. So I came up with a little ground stake option. So this is just an old screwdriver that's here, and then a grounding strap, and then we can attach this
to our radio or into, say, one of the other different pieces of equipment. So that's ready to go. We've got our grounding strap there. What else do we have here? We have our tuner. So this is the ICOM AH705. It pairs with the 705 in order to tune the radio. And this is probably where we'll be attaching the ground strap to that there. And what else? We've got a long length of just wire in order to get our solar panels out a further distance. It's got power poles attached to it, so you get that run a little bit further. I also have I keep a bag here that has all of the bits and pieces that I need to run my 705 and all of the additional wires and adapters. In here, aside from all of those components, I also have a very small BioNO battery. This is a 3 amp hour BioNO battery. So basically, this is just enough power to be able to run my radio, run all of the different things that I need to. But since we've got the power film solar, we've got the solar power batteries or the solar panels, we can charge this battery and actually draw enough power to run all the equipment that we need off the solar panels. And then this is just creating a buffer for us to be able to operate with. So you don't really need a huge battery in order to do this when you're operating. Now, when you're running solar, you do want to make sure that you have a solar charge controller with you in order to make all of that work. I've got the Buddy Pole Power Mini Plus, and this is a really straightforward unit. You just plug the battery in here, plug the solar panels into the solar port. Then there's 2 ports on the side here that are both power poles. These are the load ports. You'll be able to plug the radio in here. We'll also be able to plug our computer in here to provide enough power to run the computer as well. So all of that will be powered. And since I'm running with my cell phone today to be able to record all of this, there's also a USB port on here, so you can charge the cell phone and keep the cell phone up, charged, ready to go. There's a lot of other little bits and bobs in here that I'm not going to go into all the details of what's in here, but it's all there. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, in the front pocket. That up. And here's the computer. So this is the Microsoft Surface Go 3. It's a full tablet computer. And this is the tablet that I use in order to do all of my Winlink traffic. So anytime you see me inside of the studio or in the shack and we're doing any Winlink traffic on that, this is the machine that I'm using. It's primarily just used for ham radio for me. And it works out really great for doing portable operations. Here, oh yeah. So if you're going to operate on VHF and UHF, then you need an antenna for that as well. And for that, I use the N9TAX, which is a Slim Jim antenna. It uses a cut piece of ladder line, and it is cut for 70 centimeters and 2 meters for both. And then there's a 16-foot piece of coax. So this is great. One of the things we're going to try and do is we're going to try and set up in order to be able to hit some VHF, UHF gateways that are not too far from here. And we'll just hang this up here on the easy up that we just put up in order to make some shade. If we are not able to get the distance that we need with this antenna, then we also have set up over here, we've got the L antenna, which is a long periodic antenna, and that will give us a little bit more distance and gain to work with that. So other than that, I've just got some water here. I've got an extra carabiner, and I think I may even have a pair of gloves in here, and I've got things like a first aid kit, those sorts of things. So this is the equipment that we have to work with. Your equipment is going to be different, but what you really want to do is just start off with whatever you have. As my friend W0DHG likes to say, use the crap from your garage if you need to. Just make sure that you've got a full operating system before you head out to the field. You need to make sure you've got power. You need to make sure you've got your transceiver, your antenna system, and your computer, and everything's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and get all this stuff set up, and then we'll try and send some Winlink traffic via both VHF and HF. Stuff happens. Right? You know, we might also be able, we may be able to get like maybe on my. So the connectors on the power solar panel have these really nice waterproof connectors, and they have an extension cable that's available through PowerFilm Solar, and it has the mating connector here that just plugs into the solar panel. So it's that's ready to go. It's also a watertight connection. And then on the end of it, I have another short adapter here that just goes over the power. I can use that with any of my power extensions in order to get the panel to propagation. Since we're in the sand, I'm going to go ahead and connect this up just so I've got a little extra room. You can see it in any of my connectors. All right, so now we're going to get the solar panel running up on charge here. So we've got our Bio 3 amp hour battery, and all you need to do is take and plug that into the battery port on the Power Mini. You can see the little LED just lights up, and so we've got power going in. So this is operating, ready to go at this point. Then we'll take the line coming from the PowerFilm Solar. We'll just go ahead and plug that into the solar charging port. And look at that, we have power coming in. We're generating 2.75, 2.8 amps of power just off of that little small panel. So there we go. So we'll just leave that set there. That's charging is being topped up. Things that I always like to do is I can make sure that I've got power running to my tablet in case I forgot to charge it, which is usually what the case is for me, because I usually forget to do things like that. So what I have is I've got a really small little adapter. It's got power poles on one side and a 12-volt socket connection on the other. And then I've got the 12-volt socket, the 12-volt plug connector for the Surface. So I just got to plug that into here, plug this into, I'm going to plug it into the load 2 port over here. Press the button so that the light comes on, and now this is active. Surface, and we'll get the Surface on charge. Just simply plug it there. And there it goes. It says it is actually on charge. So we're good. That was the antenna deployed. So we're going to start off with some VHF, and we're going to try and hit a station AJ7C. So this is a pretty simple deployment. For anyone in emergency communications, you should really have one of these at night. You want to get this antenna outside any antenna. But here we go. So it's low. Beautiful. Connection to the radio. Now we'll go ahead and connect the radio to the computer. And with that, I just have a multi-port adapter. I do keep a lot of ferrite beads on that because I do get a little hash that goes on from here. So put that in. Surface. There, and let's also get the 705 on charge as well. Let's plug that also into the load port. Put the radio in. So that instantly gives us 10 watts of output power. With our radio, gives us a little more flexibility. And one of the nice things about setting up and operating with QRP radios in particular is that it gives you a lot more conservative power use for your setup. So you're not drawing as much power on receive, nor are you drawing as much power on transmit. So you can allow your battery and your power system to go a lot further. Now I've got my Surface set up and the radio. Let's go ahead and get this ready to go for 2 meters and try and connect to AJ7C. I'm going to come down here and just open up Winlink. And I'm going to use Vara FM to go ahead and open the session. It should go ahead and talk to the radio. Can't open the TNC because I got to open up the TNC manually. Need to open the COM port. It's like, yeah, we do have audio connected here. Let's go over. I'm going to change the band and go to 2 meters. Go to memory mode, group. I have a digital group rigged up here. Place that. Go back to the scope. That's the Autobahn. So I'm on the right frequency now. I know that's the correct frequency. That should be. So, why am I not? There we go. All right. So now it's talking to the radio. There. Audio. Oh, let's check the settings. There we go. See, sound card levels were really low, so we're going to come in here and make sure that you've got the correct microphone port selected. So, just restart the entire. Check this.
So I got a little different approach than Chris does. So in my Go box here, my portable, I've got a 20 amp hour Mylino battery all charged up. This is the ASU FT 100D. So it's a 2 meter, 77 meter, and HF radio with the signal link, and then my favorite tough book. Right. So some of the differences are going to be, obviously, I'm going to suck a lot more power, but I have a bigger battery. The laptop is, again, going to use a little bit more power, but I have the benefit of the really bright screen on the toughbook, and in the radio, I have the benefit of more power. HF, I can do 100 watts. I think UHF, I can do 50 watts on the radio. And so I put it up to the elk antenna as well, and we're going to see if we can get that station in Tijuana. So yeah.
Got the dogs out.
So there are a number of stations here. 228 miles. I'll try this one. Oh, XE2BC10. That's at 90. So I got to change the frequency on the radio. 090. And signal looks good. Let's see for the level. Make sure it's on the right sound card. And we're going to try to make a connection. And there we go. And I just sent a message that was sitting in the outbox. And there goes the session completed. So again, this connection to XE2BC from, is it still going?
That's good.
Again, this connection from here on Zuma Beach to XE2BC, actually from my QTH, it's 228 kilometers. I'm not sure. We'll map before the show how far the connection is here. It's almost all completely across the ocean, so it gives us a little bit of an advantage. But we were able to over 200 kilometers and make the connection. But I've got a connection right now. This is on 20 meters. I'm using FWD 3.0. What I've done so far is I used one of the stations that I already have saved in my favorites. This is KD0SFY, and their center frequency is 14.094.5. And so they're on the 20 meter band. And so what I did was when I brought up a favorite,
I can see that from my home QTH, it's a bearing of 63 degrees. Well, I'm just a few miles, I'm maybe 20, 30 miles away from my home QTH. So the bearing is going to be still pretty close to the same. So I rotated the chameleon F so that it's on the correct bearing. So the F loop has a null that runs right through the loop, and it's directional in the direction of the loop. So I rotated it around so that it's pointing in the correct direction where I want to talk. I came over and tune the radio to that frequency, and we've got a video on how to do that. It's up on the website, up on Facebook. It's up on YouTube. There you go. It's up on YouTube. So then, let's see. We've got. So then I just went ahead and checked to make sure I could get a connection. It was giving a solid connection. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this one, and then I'm going to go ahead and set up a new message. So I'm going to stop this.
Yeah, somebody sent us.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to open up, and I'm going to send a little bit of traffic here to my colleague, W0DHG, and we're going to say H. And I'm just going to send that as a really small message. So post to outbox. We'll open up our HF. Oops, back up. It remembers the last station that we had gotten the connection with. Is one of my favorites there. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit the start button. And if the demo gods are with us, we should get here in just a few seconds. We bring up our HF window as well. We should be able to get that connection, and then we should be able to send that traffic. And not connection there. So let's try one more time. Our audio input levels are pretty that'll fly the front. It's going on. Great. So one getting it with the F3.0. So we're going to try a different one of the companion antennas. We're going to try LEFS antenna, which is the lightning and slower. And we're going to record our antennas to the kite. We're going to try and do kite mobile or kite portable here at so you can see we've got the kite. It's flying pretty much by itself. Really nice out. Just going to hand the kite over to W0DHG while I start working on rigging the rest of the antennas. Definitely wants to fall. Yeah. And we use the little ground snake here. So there we go. Now we've got a little ground action going on. All we do is we just use a little simple, cheap, not for climbing carabiner, not for climbing. And you clip it onto the line, and then you wrap it around the line, clip it again, wrap it around the line, clip it again, do maybe 3 wraps. There we go. Now that's a good anchor point for us for the antenna. It's going to take the end of the loop. So normally you would deploy the LEFS so that the feed point is at the high point, and then the antenna runs down as a sloper. But we're gonna install this inverted, so we're gonna put the bitter end at the top, and then you can slowly start to let out some line. All right, now we're going to put a second carabiner on here. Just do the same kind of deployment. Wrap it around a couple of times to lock it in place. Let's lock it in line. Right, we can ball it on here.
You can hear the CW. Hear it?
Oh yeah. All right, so there we go. So I'm just going to put that in. So now we have the antenna is floating and on that portion of the line. It's going to let out just a little bit more. Yep. All right, so there we go. We have our antenna deployed as kite mobile. So now we'll see if we can get a good shot. And you see up here that the bitter end of the antenna is up there. It just slopes down here to the feed point, and then it collects. I'm going to turn the RF gain down quite a bit. I'm going to go into the function menu and make sure the tuner is on. So there we go. So our tuner is now on and it's ready to go. Now let's try and connect to one of those other stations that we were going to try and hit before. Let's go to that KD5 REJ. This is on 17 meters. So this is 18106. And I'm going to turn the RF gain down just a little bit more. There we go. So now we've got that set ready to go. You're still recording?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to come over here. Let's hit start. Let's see if we can get a connection. It's going to tune right away. It tunes us right down to one-to-one tuning. And it's on. Getting a connection, no problem. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely hearing people. That's awesome. We'll try another band. So didn't get a connection there. Let's go to one of the other. Let's go up to our channel selection. And let's try on the 40 meter band. Let's come down and try. This is a distance of 612 kilometers. This is KL7RI. Oh, we're already hearing traffic on Winlink over there on 40 meters. So we're still hearing traffic there. So let's find another station that's not on that same frequency. 7102. Let's try 7103. Listen for a second. Still hearing traffic. Maybe. There we go. Yep, it's making a connection. There we go. Kite portable, I believe. Yeah, because I think kite mobile would be as if we were pulling it from your truck. Yeah. So there we go. We are making a connection, kite portable, from the beach here at Zuma to Tijuana, Mexico. So you can see there's the kite, the antenna ramp there. 175 minutes. Trying to walk around. And there is the traffic. It is going.
Oh, that was ours. Okay. That's ours.
This definitely slowed down speed, doing 18 bits per second. Kite mobile though, or kite portable. How is it holding the kite? Pulling real hard? It's pull hard.
It's starting to walk around a little bit, but it's got it.
You can let it up a little more.
If I had it on a curve meter, I probably could walk it off.
Yeah, you can let it up a little more. More in the air.
Oh, good.
Fed half-wave antenna in free space. Oh,
Every once in a while, it'll do that properly.
if it starts to go down. Oh. It's sending. Come on.
Come on, get it there. Get it there.
Come on, go. Send. Power-wise, making 2.56 amps, and we're using about 2.5 amps on transmit and receive less than 1 amp.
Starting to walk a little bit.
That's pretty stable up there for disconnected. Did it send though? Nope, it did not send. All right, so we'll try a different gateway of sending email via HF. You really have to try hard. I mean, we've come down here, we brought out a couple of different antennas. We're doing kite portal here. We've got that set up. We've got the loop. We can pull more antennas out and keep trying until we were able to get that message out. So if we're able to send one message, we send it via VHF from here through Tijuana, and just keep working at this until we found the right combination of tools. So take your time, really kind of figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work for you. And keep trying it. You got to keep dialing in, figuring out all your different gear. There you go. So we'll head back into the studio now, and we'll take your questions. 7-3. All right, guys. So there we go. That was our day at the beach. I'm going to pull my microphone back down here so it's easier to hear me. We would like you to challenge you to send us a Winlink check-in this week before 11:59 p.m. UTC on Saturday. Send it from outside of your shack. Go set up in your yard, set up in your garden, go to a local park, go to the beach, take your equipment out, try it, and see if you're successful. It was really... I'm going to go ahead and just move myself back up into the main screen here, so it's a little bit easier to see me. It was definitely a real challenge
to go and set up somewhere that is outside of where I had ever operated before. We went down to Zuma Beach is in Malibu. It is a pretty far ways from Ventura. I think overall it's probably about 40 or 50 miles. I think I had it wrong initially when I was talking about that. And we went down and set up. And so none of the stations that I was able to normally hit could I hit. And I was operating QRP. So I was only operating with 10 watts of power. And I wasn't able to get the traffic to send while I was there using the antennas. Now, we could have spent more time and we would have dialed in all of the different settings. Oftentimes, I'll bring, if I'm doing a deployment, instead of bringing the 705, I would actually bring my 7300. I was trying to do this as small and compact as possible. David had a lot more success when he was operating with his radio, which he was pushing 50 or 75 watts out, VHF with that elk antenna pointed right at Tijuana. It was going across the ocean, about 200, a little over 200 kilometers or so, for that VHF connection that he made, and he was able to send the traffic. As you could see, I did get several times with different stations which would connect with me on HF. I was never able to get a connection on 17 meters at all, and that's usually my go-to. I usually am able to get a connection on 17 meters all the time without issue. But either the station was down, the gateway was down, or I was just not reaching them on this particular day, or maybe propagation wasn't right. 20 meters, I was able to periodically make a connection, but I couldn't hold it. On 40 meters, I was able to connect with Mike's station one down in Tijuana, and I had a connection with him. It just was so slow that it dropped the connection after a while, and so it didn't maintain it. So we had a lot of challenges while we were there. We had a heck of a lot of fun. We drew quite a crowd. I had to cut out a lot of the people that would jump in the background of the video, so we didn't have all of the footage that we shot. There was quite a few people that were doing that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was interesting to go out and set up in a very crowded beach. And we only had a little bit of time. I should give a huge shout out to November 6th, Golf Mike Golf. That is Gwen Goldenberg. She was our camera person. She did a fantastic job of capturing all of that footage that you saw. She was using my cell phone, and then also David W0DHG's cell phone. She was running around doing that. And then we also had with us Lila, who is Whiskey Zero Lima Radio Golf, also a ham, also one of David's daughters, who came and helped us out on the beach as well. So that was our small little crew that we took down and set up. And we'll try and take some questions, and we'll see what folks have. I see Terry has his hand up, so let me go ahead and we'll just go ahead and ask you to unmute. And we're going to kind of just roll a little bit into the Q&A. We'll do a little bit of Q&A, and then we'll check the map. So if you haven't sent in your check-in, go ahead and send in your check-in. We'll check the map closer to the top of the hour in just a few minutes. And then we'll move into the after party. So, Terry, what's up?
Yeah, g'day. How's things?
Very good. This is Terry coming in from ZL land, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Auckland, New Zealand here. Yeah, just to follow up on that question I asked about setting up your profiles on the 703, 7300 and stuff. I've been doing a fair bit of FT8 out POTA, and I was just asking whether you could set it up the profile so it's easier to swap between.
It absolutely is. So what you do is on the 705, you go into the you go to the menu button. I sorry, I don't have my over the shoulder camera today. You go into the menu button, you go to page 2, and there is a set of presets in there right where your FT8 preset is. And what you want to do is I usually start with the normal settings, and then I tweak the radio so that everything is set up to operate for WinLink. And then you go back into this preset section, and you just go to one of the blank listings. There's 5 presets you can use. Go to one of the blank listings and press and hold on one of the presets that's not being used, and it'll give you the option to name that preset and save all of your settings, and then you can just go ahead and switch between them. So that works. It works really pretty well. I've got a couple of other presets in there, and I haven't actually built one for WinLink, and I really do need to do that because that would save me a heck of a lot of grief.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for that, Chris. We'll definitely do that in the week and try and get hold of you before Saturday your time.
Perfect. Sounds good. Let's see if we give have any other questions in here. I wish this is coming in from John. He's saying, I wish VARA HF would show me the stations I am hearing. I would really like to tell me a lot of where the propagation is. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because one of the things that we talked about in a previous episode, when we did an episode about FT8 and there's an FT8 episode. It was in May. PSK Reporter is one of the other tools. And so we showed using FT8 to be able to send some pings out and then map using that other program so that you can then roughly see where your propagation is. And that is definitely something I should have done while I was out there, because I wasn't exactly sure where propagation was, where I was hitting on the map. And so I was doing it kind of randomly. Overall, my impression of what we went out and did was a pretty good example of a real world experience of what would happen actually in an emergency. We went to an area that we were not used to operating in. We set up all of our equipment. We tried to send traffic right away. It was a very busy beach. We had people coming up, asking us questions, wanting to know what our YouTube channel was, and were we influencers, and how many followers we had, and all that fun stuff. So it was a very busy, intense time, and we were trying to film it, and we were trying to get all of the material in, and the wind was just absolutely howling. So in that sense, it kind of modeled what may happen at a real deployment. And so I was really glad that we did have David set up with a little more power to be able to get some traffic through. I'm confident that if we'd spent a little more time, we could have gotten the traffic to go through on the QRP. Usually when I go out and I operate portable, it takes me a little bit longer to really just kind of dial in all of the settings for setting up and operating with that. I see Steve put a note that great GPS dongle is the BU 353S4. It's probably been updated. There is a GPS dongle on that. One of the parts that I had to cut out because we had people dancing in the background was I did use the ICOM 705 does have a GPS built into it. And if you are hardwired, if you've got the USB cable plugged into the Windows PC, then the GPS shows up as just another COM port. And so you can select that inside of WinLink, and WinLink will just use the GPS built into the 705 for its own GPS. So I didn't have to have a separate GPS for that. And that was that also answers Ed's question, is what GPS was I using successfully? And the one that Steve is mentioning here, the BU-353, that is one that I also have. It's a little puck. I just didn't have it with me because I knew I had the 705 with me, and it was working. Let's see other questions that folks have. We're getting up close to the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and check the map here real quick, and then we'll get some comments from Dan, and then we'll go into the after party. So let me change over to the walk up, and I'll not turn off. I want to transmogrify. That's this button. There we go. Now I slide down like that. Okay, so we're going to go in here. I'm going to go back up to Telnet, So I don't want you to sit and watch me download over the radio, because that just takes too long. There we go. Look at that. We've got check-ins coming from all over the place. That's a lot of fun. We'll go ahead and download all of those. Excellent. Coming in here. All right. I'll do one more quick check in case somebody just sent in another one. Oh, and look at that. We got one more coming in. Super fun. Coming in from Western North Carolina, KC4 TVO. Got yours. Excellent. Let's go ahead and we're going to go up here to the little map icon right here on the toolbar. I'm going to use the Winlink CheckIn. This is where you have to receive the forms into your own inbox in order for the mapping feature to work. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's selected to Winlink CheckIn, and I'm going to go ahead and display that map. Let's check the filters to make sure we're getting, we're only filtering out the last 8 hours. So only the recent check-ins that have come in today are being displayed on the map. Here's all of those new features that Phil showed a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't see that episode, go check it out on our YouTube channel. It was really cool to see all of the new things you can do with the mapping. Let's hit save, and I'll blow out the map to full screen. Whoa, wait a minute. We have a new, oh, no, this is Hawaii over here. This is Bill, KJ6IJJ. Out here in oh, wait a minute, KJ6IJJ, that's Craig. That's right, Craig's out in Hawaii on vacation. He's one of the operators. He's our NTS liaison with the Aries LAX Northwest group, and he's on vacation out there in Hawaii. So hey, Craig, thanks for joining us out there in Hawaii. Very cool.
I think he's actually working, but
oh, he's working.
Oh, even working in Hawaii is kind of like a vacation.
Kind of like a vacation. You know, we should all be doing that kind of thing, right? We got Terry down in New Zealand. We got Roland up in Germany, and we've got a friend VE3YX up there. One of our friends in Canada. KO4PFV down in Florida. Let me go and zoom in a little bit down here. We'll see on the US portion of the map. See some of the other stations that we've got coming in here. And 8JBC, thanks for joining us. KB5BOR. There's Steve NCS 396. Steve sends in his check-in via shares, so super fun to always see that the two systems really do talk to each other. We've got K8EAF in Ohio and Michigan, K8AGY. We've got a couple of stations here in New York, KB2JSB. Stations out here in Las Vegas, up here in Seattle, Washington, Oregon, all over the place. Very cool. Really appreciate everybody sending in your check-ins all to us. And we will continue to check those the rest of the week and see how everyone does with that. So let me bring Dan up. And any closing thoughts, Dan?
Well, I've been monitoring a brush fire that's up. Fortunately, it's not near where our Davids are, I think. But sounds like the makings of a pretty big brush fire in Big Tahunga Canyon. So excellent presentation. Sorry I couldn't join you on the beach. I always love the beach and Zuma. And looks like a lot of people were escaping the heat of the valley.
For sure.
Thank you for doing that and taking the load this week.
For sure. Yeah, both of the Davids we're a lot of our groups are going to be supporting the AC 100, which is a crazy long foot race, and they're on a recon mission to go up to check out some of the sites. So they're both well outside of cell range at this point for the day. Yeah. So
a 100-mile race on goat trails in the mountains. What could go wrong?
Right. All right. With that, yeah, I think it was a heck of a lot of fun. Kite Portable. That was my second time operating Kite Portable. My first time operating Kite Portable was earlier in this same week. I just on a whim decided the wind was blowing and let's go over and give this a try. I'd been working on trying to get myself set up to be able to try that for a while. And I did a couple of posts on a few forums and got a ridiculously enthusiastic response, shall we say, to those posts. So when it turned out that we were going to have everybody was going to be out in the field, we decided to go and try this portable Winlink setup and apply all of the knowledge that you guys have been learning over the past several months. And hopefully we look forward to seeing a lot of your check-ins. It was a heck of a lot of fun to be able to do that. So with that, I will say 7-3 to everyone who's joining us online on all of the various streaming platforms. We'll go ahead and start shutting those down. If you're here inside of the Zoom session, then you can feel free to hang around for the after party. We do encourage you, if you find this engaging or helpful, please go on to the WaveTalkers website, and we've got a link to buy us a coffee. Helps cover some of the infrastructure costs of keeping all of this stuff up and running all the time. And we really appreciate it. There's all kinds of materials that are up on our WaveTalkers site. And please be sure to check out our YouTube channel as well, and give us a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed on there, because it really does help us. So with that, I'll say 7-3, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot.